I did not expect the boat to be here. Hello?
Ah, Sean. It's been a while, hasn't
hello.
it?
Yeah, it has been a while. Yes, it has.
Hope you don't mind if I park the boat here. There's not really a dock anywhere nearby.
Well, absolutely. Come on in, or around.
Ugh. Man, I think this is the first time I think I've ever been all the way out here.
Probably. I mean, I'm always here, so it's not really.
Is that a factory?
Ah, yes, it's still incomplete, but that's because I'm making a few changes to it.
Oh, it looks rather nice. I'd say so.
You know, it can look better. It can look a little better.
Where exactly are we? Isn't this where New Zealand was?
Yeah, we're at the north of it.
Wow. I guess I've always wanted to go to New Zealand.
Well, now you're in New Zealand.
Very tropical.
Yeah, I mean,
Or slightly.
slightly, yeah. Over there is more or less tropical.
Interesting. See, you've built yourself up a little colony over there.
Yeah, nowhere near finished. Plan to scavenge, well, not scavenge resources, but I plan to just move stuff out and expand. It's work in progress, but it'll work.
Don't I know the feeling?
Yeah.
Try having to build 3 mega super projects.
I mean,
3 to, honestly, at this point I'm starting to forget myself, but I guess that's what it takes to be 36.
yeah. Oh, a lot of work.
Yeah, I got myself the prison that's being built, and then a little secret project that I'm working on, and then there's a couple other things that I'm expanding. Yeah, a lot of mega projects.
Yeah, I'm the complete same. The factory, the what is basically going to be a city, whatever's in there, which, good thing you're here, I'll show you after. But what are you here for again?
Oh yeah, well, the bi-weekly tax thing is now a thing, and well, I'm sure you've already gotten your notice about it.
I haven't in advance because I don't really need any trouble. There you go. Everything should be in there, and do whatever you want with it. I don't really mind.
Well, I guess, I don't think you were around much when I got to explain this in full detail, but essentially each colony or industry has, well, just that, an industry. And well, each and every industry pays up a bi-weekly tax that benefits everybody. And since yours is masonry and machinery, that means building materials are used for, well, making more houses, making more produce factories, and all the machinery is used to delve into mechanical stuff, which, by your expertise, honestly, is pretty beneficial.
Absolutely,
That redstone
yeah.
technology comes in handy sometimes.
Absolutely. I'm already planning on a few projects myself using redstone.
Narcy themselves over in Krutvalis has actually delved into that kind of stuff as well, and they've made some pretty good advancements, so who knows, maybe you could talk to them about that kind of stuff. They're planning on making an entire laboratory, which is quite impressive. I do say so myself.
Definitely does sound impressive, although science is not really a strength of mine. I know a little bit about it, but again, I'm more or less into cars, machinery, and stuff like that.
Well, scientific stuff is more or less Krutvalis' industry. Well, specifically technological science.
Yeah.
Other types of science, including alchemy and such, is actually provided by Blue Genesis Labs, if I remember, which is our fellow Wyverns industry.
Ah, right.
I think you could have some pretty interesting conversations with them. In fact, the two of you are very similar.
In what way?
Honestly, both of you are pretty genius at what you do.
It's fair enough. He
You're
knows
an
science,
expert.
and yeah, I
You're an
know.
expertise inside machinery. Well, this one is an expertise inside the more magical properties. I don't know how he learned these kind of stuff, but he's just really smart at it.
Yeah. I think anyone would be if they learned that.
In fact, he and I are the ones that are working on that secret project I was talking about.
Can I get a little, well, not a sneak peek, but a little bit of information, or is that just keeping it in?
I don't know. I don't know. It all depends. If I like you enough, then yeah.
Fair enough. If you want to tell away, then go tell away.
Well, I'm sure our trust factor will build over time, because, well, I like to make friends in this world, not enemies, but sometimes I don't always get what I want.
Yeah. Sometimes it just happens.
Honestly, I think you're the second person I visited on this Pandora's Lost stuff, and, well, let's just say the first interaction I had with the people of Orlade was not so humble.
What happened there?
Well, for the most part, they seemed prepared just as much as you are. In fact, a certain doctor by the name of Luna actually prepared weeks in advance, more than enough to cover at least maybe 5 visits, but, well, a certain blacksmith that you probably may have seen back then decided that it would be a little bit of an upfront to not pay up. In fact, they didn't want to pay. They didn't want to give up all the nice produce that they were making. And, well, let's just say they had to be a little bit incarcerated.
So they went to some type of prison? I assume not the prison you're building, because, well, that's been built,
no.
isn't it?
That's still under construction.
Yeah.
More or less the jail in Talon Peaks, which is where our local sheriff has their jail.
Right.
You see, everything would have just been completely fine if they would have just shut up and handed them over, but I guess some people don't feel like benefiting the world. They hear the word taxes and they completely lose their mind.
Well, people are like that these days. Some people agree with it, some people don't. It is what it is.
Well, if they disagree with it, then that means they're cutting supplies off from everybody. You see, the way Pandora's Law works is that every single person provides something that gets shipped out in portions to everybody else. In fact, probably in due time, you'll first get your Pandora's box, as we like to call them. It's basically, well, just that.
So I assume it's like
a giant crate. A giant crate full of everything from every industry, which includes everything, not just your machinery. It includes food from Orlade, food from Outback, luxury items and gold from Anime Land. Basically, everybody's kept in the loop.
Sounds pretty interesting. I assume they'd be getting transported by villagers in some way, or
not just villagers, but golems. In fact, we don't like to really take them right off the bat. We usually send golems to do that, and, well, they get it back to us in short notice. They're very durable. In fact, they're the ones that are leading some of the mega projects.
They must be pretty big.
You might want to dive into them. They might be able to help your factory over there.
Maybe, yeah. I might look into it.
But yeah, some people just hear the word taxes and they immediately think the worst, but the only person to blame for that ideology is, well, that President Nova.
Yeah, I remember that strange outburst.
When will people understand that we're trying to help? I mean, after all, I wasn't the one that created this law, it was my sister. And, well, not a lot of people are fond of them.
I assume it's the way they act, or...
Yeah, I've heard the word tyrant get thrown around, but would a tyrant care this much for their people?
No, a tyrant would start a lot of fights, just in the name of power, greed, whatever it is, and by the looks of things, this doesn't seem like power or greed. It seems like literally giving free gifts out to random people they don't even know of.
Exactly. I mean, hell, some of these colonies I haven't even really seen. I mean, this one, for an example.
Yeah.
And, well, people still think it's, a bad thing, but I've also been told that, hey, it sounds a lot like communistic behavior, and it's just like, listen, I can agree to a certain extent, but at the same time, it's controlled. And
Mm,
well, whether people like it or not, we need this.
yeah.
I mean, in due time, Pandora's Law will probably have to be abolished and maybe replaced with something else. But
Absolutely, yeah.
until then, we don't have a lot to work off of. Everybody needs to pitch in, and that's just the way life is gonna have to go. And whether people like that blacksmith, Sky, like it or not, they're gonna have to pay up no matter what.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, just imagine it. Imagine if you had a whole, let's say, 10 full acres of farmland, each one of them farming at least corn, for say. A very big renewable resource. One thing leads to another. You can make many things out of it, including plastic of all things. And well, you have it all to yourself. You decide to not share with the entire world. In fact, some people might not be able to even have a resource like that. Imagine the horror that it gets revealed that someone decides to just keep that crop.
It caused outrage.
It does. And well, I hope Sky understands that because, well, if they really wanted it their way, I could imagine that the presidency would be completely in shambles if they would have won. They're too forgiving, too nice. And sometimes you have to be a little bit abrasive to be in this world.
I can understand that.
Honestly, if you feel as if you're the smartest in the room, then by all means you should prove that.
Well, speaking of smart, remember when I said about stuff about the wings?
Ah, yes, I remember that. The Wings project that you had.
Yeah. Follow me. It's not done, because obviously I just, I haven't really figured out what to use. But right there is the wings. I call it
Holy shit.
the elytra. It's more or less a plural noun for elytron, which I think is a Greek word for sheath or cover or something like that. I don't really care about the word itself, but
It's
that thing right
wow.
there is possibly going to be a game changer in transportation. Not just for me or you, but for everyone out there. Of course, when I do make these, people will have to pay for it. That's natural. Because
Why, of course.
if you want to get something like that, you'd have to pay me a lot of money, because it is of high quality. Or I hope to be of high quality.
Huh. It's very, very mechanical.
Yeah. I hope to use 0 redstone, but I may have to use a little bit just to get the wings moving and whatnot.
I guess you can consider yourself the first ever Wright brother.
Very true, yeah.
You'd be the first one to invent some sort of aviation invention. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. Although I do have a lot more plans than just those wings. Cars, boats better than that one even. Stuff like what we used to have.
Well, honestly, revolutionary tactics and inventions are one step further to achieving what we used to have.
Absolutely.
We may not be the first people to invent them in a long lost history of Earth, but we certainly will be the ones to invent them for the new age.
Yeah.
And well, this is step one. From here on out, who knows what you can make in the future? Airplanes, helicopters. The possibilities are endless, and this is what is beautiful about the new world.
Absolutely. Anything could be of a reality. Even
I mean, I mean, hell, if you really think about it, we've already discovered a few things that are not even theoretically possible.
Yeah.
Alchemy, enchanting, magic. I
Even-
didn't even think these things would even exist, but even the gods.
Yeah.
As much as I wouldn't want to believe it, it's just I can't help it. It's my destiny.
Your destiny for what exactly? Like, in terms of becoming a god, or like just, I don't know, like, what's the idea?
Well, I could sit here all day and say about how I wish to become a god, but what kind of person would I be if I even said that? Of course, being a god is, well, completely something different, but
Hmm.
the fact of the matter is that they exist, and well, whether people believe it or not, they're here, and well, there's no way we can really disprove it. I mean,
Yeah.
at the same time, sometimes I wish that this was all just some sort of fever dream, and well, I would just wake up already. Because I still can't believe it. I still can't believe that everything is different. I still can't believe that every single one of us is just here.
Hmm. I've even been having like small nightmares about it, just thinking about what was then back then and kind of like merging together, if that makes sense, with the new world and the old world, just clashing together in my head while I'm asleep. Just strange. It's not a nightmare, but it's just a strange dream. It's like,
I mean, I completely get that. I still haven't found my oldest son, and well, me and my sister are kind of worried about something like that.
mm, yeah, I can't imagine losing family like that. It's not good. I mean, I've already lost family, but to lose them and then not be able to find them again is very, very different.
Well, a lot of people want answers, and well, the only people that can really seek them out are myself and my sister and everybody else in the New World Order.
Hmm.
And well, I've made promises that I have to keep, and well, that's just who I am. Regardless of whether people see me as some sort of monster nowadays, which is the most hypocritical thing I think I've ever heard, but
Hmm.
it's something I have to do. I have to make sure everybody knows what happened, because, well, I don't know what happened. We don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time before we get the answers, because we can't rely on the gods.
Yeah. All we have to do
They
is
can't.
theorize and just guess.
Well, I mean, Narcy's already begun doing that kind of stuff. I heard them mumbling once that maybe it could have been a nuclear war or a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. I was
Well-
thinking about those type of things too, just thinking about what could have happened to the world to become like this. Because although a nuclear war sounds plausible, it wouldn't look like this if a nuclear war happened. So I
That
don't
is
know,
true.
I don't know if a
That is
nuclear
true.
war would have happened. Maybe a zombie apocalypse, but not a nuclear war.
If a zombie apocalypse were a thing, don't you think the zombie virus would still be around?
Possibly. I know there
Well-
are zombies around, so
Well, it turns out that those zombies are not actually, well, of virus origin. They're wicked creations made by the Illagers.
right.
Well,
Magic, basically.
according to the logs that we newly discovered inside the mansion, in the mansion archive, it turns out that, well, it wasn't just Hades and Zagreus that they got gifts from. The goddess of magic themselves, Hecate, well, they also got blessings from them too. And they took advantage of that magic, and, well, that's what all these monsters are for. They created them, and, well, we can't get rid of them now because they're a species that keeps spawning in this world, I guess.
So they basically prayed to these gods, and the gods gave them what was basically power.
Well, when it comes to the gods, if you give them something, they'll give you something back in equal value. What these illagers wanted was knowledge. Well, I guess the gods made a mistake, because nowadays they don't really give us these kind of abilities anymore. Understandably so. There are a few people out there that I wouldn't trust with any of this kind of power. I mean, it's like giving a mortal, well, nectar, which is the drink of the gods. It's not exactly gonna go well. In theory, it might be plausible, but execution is, well, completely thrown out the window.
Yeah. Just depends on who takes in the knowledge, really.
Yeah. But, you know, that's just how the new world is, and, well, that's how we're gonna have to get used to it. I certainly don't mind at all.
Yeah, I don't mind.
In fact, I think it's pretty neat. I think it's pretty neat that the gods are a thing. More specifically, the Greek gods.
Yeah, I did notice it was only just the Greek gods, because I know there's different pantheons. I don't know anything about the whole different pantheons and whatnot, but, like, it was just... I don't know. Why is it only Greece and not, you know, let's say, Nordic or Egyptians, you know? It's like, why only Greece? Because you never know. There could be more gods out there and we don't even know about it. They could be in a completely different universe or whatever. I don't know.
Well, according to Hades, he's pretty joy to talk about. Apparently there isn't just them. It's the Greek gods completely spanned on hundreds upon hundreds of them. It's just that they themselves are the only ones that can come down here because most of them can't even leave their post.
Right.
But who knows? It all depends. Honestly, you should take a read of Zeus versus Typhon over in the Apollo's library at Haven. It actually explains a little bit of the Egyptian gods and why they exist. I'd recommend giving it a read. It's actually very intriguing.
I'll think about it.
Well, in the meantime, though, I think I've overstayed my welcome, but when it comes to this, or any other project, if you need the manpower and the resources to even achieve something like this on a massive scale, you know where to find me.
Absolutely. I'll let you know if I do, yeah.
Because, well, I can consult a certain someone over in the Uwu Empire to provide a lot of golems to basically get your production going a little more faster.
Well, that would be very, very useful.
Well, what comes around stays around, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, if we're gonna get things kicking off, then, well, we might as well start sharing our resources. And with Pandora's Law, well, let's just say I see a little bit of a bright future.
I definitely see a future. I'm unsure still whether it's bright or dark, but I know it's a future for sure.
Well, it all depends on what the people think. And, well, if I were you, I'd be wary about a few kinds of people.
Like who?
If I really had to warn you of some people before I head out,
right?
That President Nova, do not trust a single word they say.
Okay.
My sister is very good at telling when someone's lying, and, well, that President Nova's a liar. And, well, that blacksmith in Orlade, Sky, don't believe any of the bullshit that comes out of their mouth.
Alright.
They're gonna lead you down a dark path, and I can tell you this right now. It could possibly lead to rebellion. You see, Sean, I like you. I think, you know, for someone out here who has this knowledge here, I certainly would like to see you invent great things, and, well, I would like for you to, well, revolutionize this world, and, well, I wouldn't want people to get in the way of that. If a war were to break out, I wouldn't rely on you. I wouldn't just come knocking at your door saying
Yeah.
that we need you. But as for anybody else, I have no idea. And well, considering the fact that there's a little bit of a rumor going on that a rebellion may be starting to form, I thought I'd warn you.
Well, the warning is definitely appreciated, especially if a rebellion is gonna happen. All it'd do is cause chaos. It's not really much, well, you can do if that happens, other than, well, fight it off.
Even if
and
you
then,
do think about it, even if at any point you do think about joining someone's rebellion, think about what you're truly fighting for. What exactly are the people mad about? Taxes that are necessary? Or the fact that my sister's queen? It's all redundant. It's ridiculous.
Mm.
And well, like I said, I like you, Sean. I think you will take this world by surprise with whatever you're making. But in the meantime, I'd just watch your back if I were you.
I'm always watching my back these days, especially when it is a world like this where, well, because of how, I would say free the world is, but because of how new it is, there are people you've never really met, so you can't really trust them. And which you just have to watch your back, and then trust builds when you realise, oh, they're pretty sound. So I might, I like them, it's a good idea to trust them, once you start liking that person. You know?
I get that feeling sometimes. But, well, I'm gonna have some golems come by and pick up the shipments, so make sure you don't move those things. But again, just take care of yourself.
Will do.
Until next time, Sean, let me know if you need anything.
Will do.